Welcome to Module 2, the Planning and Setting of Assessments. In the previous module, we discussed the meaning of the ICAS, its importance, and the implementation of the latest ICAS. You will remember that ICAS is short for Internal Continuous Assessment. This is part of the process of assessing that students have understood and completed their Report 191 or NCV qualifications satisfactorily. In this module, we're going to learn about how to implement ICAS. This module will be a general discussion on the setting of assessments. The information in this module can be applied to Report 191 semester and trimester programs, as well as to NCV programs. This module is very comprehensive. It contains a lot of information and is extremely important. Make sure that you have a copy of the latest NCV ICAS guidelines or the latest Report 191 ICAS guidelines with you for the duration of the workshop. This module is divided into 6 sessions in which we will discuss 4 topics. Session 1, on the importance of setting quality assessments. Session 2, on assessment tasks constituting the ICAS. Session 3, on subject assessment plans and subject assessment schedules. Session 4, on setting assessments and assessment tools. Session 5, Setting Assessments, Criterion 4. Session 6, Setting Assessments, Criteria 5 to 8. Session 1, the importance of setting quality assessments. You may be like the person in this cartoon and be thinking, but we all know how to set an assessment. You're wasting my time. Take a moment to complete Activity 1 in your workbook. Please pause the video now. After doing Activity 1, do you still think that everyone knows how to set an assessment? There's a huge difference between just setting an ordinary assessment and setting an assessment of high quality. At some time in our lives, we've all experienced the frustration of writing an incorrectly or badly set assessment.
Setting bad assessments can have a devastating impact on the student. Here you notice the student visibly frustrated with a badly set paper. Questions should never be ambiguous, but clearly understandable. Students give up easily and neglect to complete their assignments. This results in not achieving an ICAS mark. Students are misled if assessments are too easy and then fail in an external examination. This can have serious consequences for the future of the students. Students who fail do not meet their bursary requirements or drop out of school. Being a good student in general, his marks reflect a different picture. He has obtained good marks for some subjects, but bad marks in others. This is not a true reflection of the student's abilities and performance.
Ma, but this lecturer, she confuses me. Her assessments are too easy, way easy. Then when we write external examinations, I cannot answer the questions because they are too difficult for me. We should have practiced answering questions in certain ways, but we ain't given the opportunity to. I'm afraid that I have lost my bursary to study.
I'm sure you have also all come across a situation in which your students have had to answer a question paper containing errors, such as wrong numbering, wrong mark allocations, wrongly weighted values, incorrect instructions, or non-adherence to the syllabus or assessment guidelines. As an assessor, you should not be guilty of these shortcomings. We are never too old to learn from one another about how to set a good assessment. We need to bear in mind that a badly set assessment has consequences for the student. The student may not be able to complete the paper if mistakes have to be corrected while answering. Assessments form part of ICAS, and a badly set assessment can lead to a student not obtaining an ICAS mark that allows him or her to write a final examination. If the assessment is not in line with the syllabus or assessment guidelines and does not comply with the ICAS guidelines, this can also mislead a learner about whether he or she is really ready for an examination. An assessment should always be in line with what the candidate can expect in a final examination. Therefore, ICAS tasks should be of the required standard. That is not too easy, but also not too difficult. To help you with this task, the Department of Higher Education and Training has compiled guidelines and templates which must be adhered to by all assessors. Monitoring, by means of moderation, also takes place to make sure that these guidelines are followed, both internally and externally. This brings us to the end of Session 1 of Module 2, in which we covered what it means to set an assessment of high quality and the consequences of poor quality assessments for students.